The best parts about living in uncertainty and facing uncertainty in our lives, whether you're facing it in your home life or your relationship or with your finances or your career or just this crazy world that we live in. And maybe you're facing all of these at the same time. In fact, that's where I am in a place in my life right now. And if you're in a place of uncertainty, total uncertainty, this video is for you, because a lot of us feel into and talk about the crappy side, the freaky side, the scary side of uncertainty. But there's actually this really remarkable, spectacular experience about living in uncertainty that is quite life-changing, but in a really cool way. So this video is for you. If you feel like it's hard what you're facing and you don't know what the next outcome is going to be, and you're facing this decision to make around career or relationship or home life that is just draining a lot of your energy. So if that's you, then let's jump in. My name is Taylor Anna Garrett. Welcome to The Wealthy Changemaker, where we talk about wealth, earth, and tribe and how they can flow together rather than, take each other apart. And in this video, as we're talking about total uncertainty, before we start looking at any of these elements, what's really important when we're starting to change our beliefs and look at things from a different perspective is, one, do you give yourself permission to look at your uncertainty, what's going on in your life right now? Do you give yourself permission to look at things from a different perspective, from a different way of understanding it? Because so often we want the solution, but we're not willing to see things differently. And so if you're facing uncertainty, do you give yourself permission? And as you're answering that question, let's just take a few deep breaths here. Just relaxing your shoulders away from your ears, inhaling and exhaling, anchoring into this moment, anchoring into where you're sitting or walking or thinking, wherever you're in this world right now. And as we're talking about uncertainty, I want to invite you to anchor into yourself, because the best parts about being uncertainty aren't my best parts. They're going to be shaped and shifted for what is valuable for you here, not just what I think. And so I want to invite you to anchor into yourself and what's actually true for you. Take what you like, leave what you don't. It's really simple and really authentic to your own experience. You're going to know by how you feel. It's going to feel like a click, like a yes, like I know this is it. And as you're facing uncertainty, there's a lot of not knowing. If we just look at the basic definition of what is uncertainty, it's a state of being in the unknown. It's a state of things not being definite for you, which is actually how life works. There's really no certainty at the end of the day. And while we all expect we'll wake up tomorrow, or that things, everybody will still be around and I'm still going to have this money or this job, at the end of the day, life is not certain. In fact, the only certainty is that it is uncertain. Or they say, the only constant is change. And as we're feeling into the uncertainty in your life, I want you to connect into, is it your home life that feels super uncertain? Is it your relationship? Is it your finances? Is it your career? Is it how you feel about the world right now? And maybe it's all of those. It could be a mixture of home and career, or relationship and the world, and finances and home. Whatever it is for you, they're probably interlinked. And I've got some good messages for you today. So let's talk about the best parts about living and facing total uncertainty, because this can be horrifying. And I really, really celebrate you for being here, because this is a remarkable moment in your life. For me, in my life, the most uncertain times, when I was a child, we lost our house to foreclosure. That was probably one of the best things that happened for me in my life that allowed me to create what I live now, that allowed me to travel the way that I travel around the world from a more grounded perspective. It allowed me to open up to different possibilities of living in different continents and countries every single year or whenever I wanted to. And so your uncertainty can offer you everything. And that's the first most beautiful part about facing uncertainty, is that your uncertainty is like an open door or an open portal where anything becomes possible, because you're not attached. You're not, while your mind might want to seek that certain, amount of money coming in, that certain home base, that stability, or that relationship with somebody that that you get. When you're facing uncertainty, everything becomes possible. And so those dreams that you have, that you never, acted on, or the ideas that you really want to go and just be with and see how they'll work out, this is the space where it can actually happen, is in uncertainty. When you're certain, this is where we can cut off a lot of different possibilities, which is not bad. In fact, it can be really, really supportive to have that focus. But if you're in a state of uncertainty, let's make it work for you. And as you're feeling into the different possibilities, this is the second most beautiful part about being in a place of total uncertainty, is really the work you can do with your belief system and your awareness. When you're in uncertainty, this is the place to restructure what you think is true about the world. And this meaning that you can actually create the beliefs that support what you actually desire. Many times we get stuck in a job that we don't actually want to be in, but we don't have the beliefs that allow us to see something better, something different. Then, okay, I got to stick to this job because it's what I know. I can predict I'm going to be able to pay for my lifestyle, my home, my warm bed, my food on the table. That is all in the known. But if you're in a place of the unknown, all of that is not definite, which is scary, because we got to eat, we want to be comfortable, we want to have warm showers and warm beds and people that we love around us. Sometimes this gets pushed to an edge. And on that edge is where the belief system work becomes possible, because you're not tethered to these ideas about the way things should be. So the cool thing about uncertainty is it gets rid of that obligation world, that shoulding, that I have to. The cool thing about not living in the have to world is now you get to live in your desires, what's actually important to you. And in fact, maybe you've never even asked yourself, what is important to me in my life? What do I actually truly want? Am I just trying to be good at something so I can be stable and secure, which is totally fine? Or do you have something bigger that's calling you, that's beckoning you into a dream that wants to be embodied in your reality? So if you're in a place of belief system work, then I would ask yourself, like, something really simple is, what are my struggles with uncertainty right now? Write a list of your struggles out. And it's going to look like, I don't know if I can pay rent next month. I don't know where I'll get money if I don't have this job. I don't know where I'm going to live if I move out of this place that I don't really want to live in. I don't know how I'm going to travel here when I really want to be in Tanzania or Colombia or Peru. How am I going to get there when I've never traveled before? How do I find the love of my life when I don't know anybody in my town right now, my city, who is a vibe? All of these different struggles, write them down on a piece of paper. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get another piece of paper and put it right next to the struggles. And on that expanded piece of paper, you're going to take the first struggle and you're going to write, what if the struggle was not real? What if it was no longer an option? What would be possible? What would be a possible way of thinking about this struggle if I can't actually struggle? And so when we're in uncertainty, say it's the example of, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore with this partner. because I'm struggling, because I don't feel seen, because I feel like we fight all the time, because I feel like we want different things, what if the struggle was not an option here anymore with this partner? And that could look like, well, we would give each other the space to see what's actually important to us. We would get the support, because I know this is the person I want to be with. We would get the support to actually look at the things that aren't aligning. I would get to look at, what am I actually really triggered about here? What is really important to me that's not being seen and heard? And I would find a way to start approaching that and creating that feeling of seen and heard, being heard internally. So I'm not seeking it outside of my relationship. We get to start looking at, what if the struggle wasn't real around uncertainty? That's where uncertainty becomes fun. It becomes possibility. It becomes your dream life. That's what uncertainty offers you. And so the final thing that I really, really love about uncertainty is that it invites you into your faith in what you actually believe in, whether that is God or, Allah, or whether that is some sort of source being above, or whether that's just you and your trust in yourself. And it invites you into this faith. And, there's this saying, it's not faith until it looks like it won't happen. And that's what uncertainty really puts you in, is this undeniable, unfuckwithable trust in yourself to create what you actually want to create. It calls you out of reactionary mode, out of, they did this, so I'm going to do it like this. It calls you beyond that into a bigger place within yourself, which is, I am here to create that and co-create with that which I cannot control, which often looks like our home life and a relationship, maybe in our family or our partner, or maybe in business and our career. This is the cool part, where it starts to become like a coloring book or a blank canvas, where you get to put the paint on in the colors you really want to create with. So I invite you to go in and write, your struggles down of uncertainty, and it could be a crazy amount of them, and give yourself the space to ask, what if the struggle was no longer an option? What would be another possibility here? And this work has transformed not only my life, but so many of my clients who started to see something beyond what they thought was status quo, the way that they thought things had to be, because they didn't know any different. We just don't know different until we know. And the prequel to knowing is not knowing, which is a state of uncertainty. So I really also want to acknowledge the shadow side, the darkness, the emotions that move through you as you're feeling the uncertain moment, because it is horrifying in many moments, and it is very saddening to let go of things that you really truly love at this moment in your life, whether that is a relationship or a place you live, or there are elements of things that you love that you're letting go in a career. And so I really send you the utmost honor and respect for what you are moving through, and the boldness you have to think beyond the status quo of what your life has always been, because it's not the most easy journey, but it is the most rewarding one. So with that being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it and you want to hear more from me, then subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the comments, or just connecting with the fact that you're experiencing my work and my gifts. So my name is Taylor. Thank you for being with me here on The Wealthy Changemaker. I send you so much love and so much light. Ciao.